we are live.
Hello.
This is Fonic Arts, and here with Patrick,
Yeah, Patrick Sakura210. How are you guys doing?
and we're bringing you a podcast of the Behind the Scenes February.
Yes,
This
20.
podcast is going to go over the basics of the updates coming out this month. It's going to be a brief, hopefully around 30-minute brief video of it,
Yeah.
and just hope y'all enjoy and just listen while escaping.
Yeah. Well, let's get into this. First, the first thing they're talking about is the Dominion Tower updates, of course. The item exchange being the first one, which I think you're more of an expert on, being that you actually do Dominion Tower more often than I do.
Yes, it was saying that you've got more power ups than you can use, meaning like Dominion crossbows, help horns, and such. You can trade them in for XP books, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you got a spare crossbow or two that you never use in the bank. In the case of me, I don't, I just trash them, and but otherwise, I have plenty of Dominion swords I keep on me.
Mm.
Speaking of which, let me see.
Yeah. But yeah, it should be very interesting since it only gives combat experience, which is a much more balanced idea rather than just like random, well, open experience books that you can get anything in.
Well, the thing about these XP books is that it's only based on the Dominion factor. So, say I got an XP book off a Dominion factor of like 300. I'm only getting at my current levels, I'm only getting up to about 60, 70 per experience.
Yeah.
So,
So that makes sense. I mean, it's not crazy experience. It's a logical amount. It's not overpowered, it seems.
which actually brings us to the next part about them actually upping the XP rates.
Yeah.
They ain't going. I don't think they're going to amp it enough that it'll you could just glitch it and get max combat period that way. But
Definitely not. Yeah.
it would be interesting enough.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you it's more incentive to use the Dominion Tower. I mean, it was their huge update, and I remember a lot of people that were doing it the first week, but it's kind of seemed to die down since then.
Well,
Just
most of the people who actually wanted the gloves and such have gotten it.
yeah.
The main thing that people always were after was the gloves and the dread nib. So
Yeah, once you unlock those, you only need to go there for short periods to get a few more or another pair and whatnot.
yeah, just to get about 5 more kills or so.
Yep.
And the only good gloves out of it is only the Goliath and Swift gloves, being the Goliath for its melee bonuses and the Swift for its
The
actual
double.
ability to shoot an extra bolt.
Yeah, exactly. That it sounds good. It makes me kind of want to go get a pair because I'm probably gonna start slaying sometime soon. It seems like if they're already half decent, I mean, making them better is definitely not going to be a bad thing. It's probably going to make more people want to go to the Dominion Tower, along with the XP rewards, along with the greatening or the making the XP rewards more. It's going to be a much better
And now that I think of it, speaking of the
place.
gloves, they're actually increasing the amount of time it takes for them to degrade, isn't
Oh,
it?
that's right. Yeah.
Along with actually keeping multiple pairs of them in the bank.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
instead of having a Slayer task and they falling apart halfway through, you can have 2 pairs on you at the same time.
Definitely,
So definitely a good thing. It's good for stuff like Nex or something.
it's a
Because
great
the
thing.
gloves already only last like 3 hours of combat.
Yeah. That's. I mean, it's 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 an understood amount, but at the same time, it's good that they give you more than one
Well, it's
pair.
sort of like Ganodermic at the very beginning. It only lasted 3 hours, and for that 3 hours, the repair cost was just overwhelming.
Yeah, probably making it less desirable in armor. But now it seems like a lot of people like to use it, and it's more.
Well, from my knowledge, it costs about as much as another set of Ganodermic just to buy the flakes to repair it, and then you need at least 98 summoning crafting for it.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Hmm.
now speaking of crafting, let's before we move on to the next part, the Dominion Tower is finally getting the boss that was actually designed at RuneFest. So,
Promise.
what's it called again?
Sunfreet. Sunfreet is a beast, and he will definitely be the king of Dominion Tower in the future.
And the only place for the king to sit is at the very top, which
Yes.
means y'all need at least the Dominion Marker 4 to actually unlock the top of the tower. So definitely be expecting to get to follow RuneShark's guide on how to get the journal pages and work on your gloves and such. But don't forget that you do need to complete at least at max 15 on climber mode, floor 15
Mhm.
on climber mode, and get all status effects. Get at least floor 30 on endurance mode, complete all of the specials, and at least use all the power ups. The incendiary mines aren't actually required to be used since they only affect quest bosses.
Yeah.
And they can hit up to 2,000 on quest bosses, so just so you know. So if you ever want to take on Nomad, to get some incendiary mines after 500 kills.
Sounds like a plan. So, as you were saying, crafting, the new crafting, well, yeah, the new crafting update, potion flasks.
Yet we finally get some high level crafting stuff other than Black Dragon hide and urn. When was the last crafting update? Wasn't it urns?
I would say, well, Ganodermic is kind of a crafting update, but not really.
I think it falls more under the magic area though.
Exactly.
For
So yeah, the last major crafting update they had was urns, which I think urns were absolutely necessary, because at one point I went on my free to play account and it was like, how do I train crafting without losing so much money? It's not even,
and in the case of
worth
me,
it.
I actually did. I actually I lost a little bit of money, but I did a lot of the hide gathering and such like that for myself. So
Yeah. I did the really cheap, long, useless way of doing it. It takes so many hours that it really shouldn't have been done. But
you
it,
actually made the urns.
no, what? Oh no, 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 no! I mined the ores. I smelted the ores. I made the bracelets. I
Oh,
etched the bracelets.
oh yeah, that was definitely the long process. I think it took you about
Months
3
and months.
months.
Yeah, it took me months, and then I quit, and then I came back, and then I finished up. But as we were saying,
All right.
potion
Well,
flasks sounds amazing.
well, well. Tell me what you see in the potion flasks.
I see
I'll give
potion.
you. I can see the simplest part of it being that instead of the having vials in your inventory, not to mention just 4 dose vials in your inventory, you can now have 6 dose vials, and when they're empty, the actual flask shatters to make more room for when you need to withdraw some for a yak or something.
Exactly. No more boss floors covered in vials. No more.
No more mistaking a good loot for a vial.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it just helps. It's definitely gonna help a lot with PVM by far.
Oh, oh, definitely.
One thing I thought of previously, uh, was what if you can actually use potion flasks for herb lore? What if, I mean, since normal potions are 3 dose and potion flasks are 6 dose, is there a possibility of Jagex letting you make double potions in flasks filled with water?
Of course, this having to give you double the XP and
Hmm. Take double
along with the scroll of the the wasteless herbler
cleanse.
scroll possibly save you double the herbs for it too. So
Exactly. And I mean, it seems like it would be a great new way to of using them. I mean, they haven't said outright whether or not this is true, but I feel like it's an update that makes
it's a
sense.
possibility.
Yes.
But the
So,
requirements to make this is you need 81 to mine the red sandstone it takes to make them, and 89 crafting to actually be able to what is it to
uh,
actually make the glass that it's going to be made out of.
yes. And it's it's gonna be interesting. I mean, since Jagex put a cap on it, it's gonna be really interesting to see the prices that these potion flasks sit at. It's also gonna be interesting to see the how busy the city of Uglog and that entire side of the map gets, because they don't necessarily say. I don't think they say that the map is in the. I mean that the. I'm sorry. They don't necessarily say that the red sandstone will be in
Be
Uglog.
out there.
Yeah, but it would make sense for JGX to.
Since the machine that could turns it from red sandstone into the bulk for the glass is
Mhm.
actually in Oogloog itself.
Yes. Now my question is, does or will you be able to make glass the same way? Will you be able to use the lunar spell? That's the questions within themselves. I mean, it depends on how Jagex is feeling. But since they specifically stated that you need the robust glass making machine, I don't think that glass make lunar spell will work. Sadly,
I could see it come later on as a livid farm spell.
yes, robust glass.
But of course, I think it could mean you'd have to have at least 90 92 magic
Yeah,
or so around there,
be a high level
and
spell.
and not to mention just the you'll have to have at least 89 crafting steel for it.
Yes.
So either way, you're still going to be set in to do that.
Yeah, so with the knowledge that these are going to be breaking and they have 6 doses and that they're going to be used by high level PVMers, I'm pretty
And
sure
not
they're
to
going to.
mention that you can only get, like you said, there's a cap at
Yes,
50 a day. So
50 a day, which is the amount of people at that resource upon release is going to be quite crazy. I think it's going to be very.
I'll definitely be there. I don't have the crafting level for it, but I do have the mining level, so I can always just stock. If they stack, I'll stockpile them in my bank until I get the crafting level. And who
Exactly.
knows, they might provide great crafting XP. I might get 99 that way if they have good crafting XP.
It's very, very true.
Which is actually another thing we don't know is actually what experience do they give? Do they mine fast? Do they mine
Yeah.
slow?
Is it going to be communal mining like a fallen star, or is it going to be solo rocks like iron? Are they going to be shared? Is it going to be instance like farming where you have your own personal patches, your own personal rocks? It'll be really interesting to see what Jagex does with this.
Which what do you estimate the price will be on upon release? I
I
can go ahead.
it's hard to say. I mean, last night I was talking to some people and I could definitely see them sitting at 20K at the end of the first night.
I
It,
wouldn't be surprised.
or at some point in.
I could see Jagex releasing GE price for them probably about 5K each,
Yes, and I
and
think
then
well,
street price being at least 10 times that, at least 50K a vial or a
it's
flask.
it's so hard to tell because you just don't know what people will pay for that much of a difference. I mean, the amount people pay for those boots, I forget what they're called. The boots from
The the
Glaycores.
the Glacier boots, the
Yeah,
Ragefire, Steadfast, and Glaven.
exactly. The
Well, let's see. What in the let's see. Steadfast was 50 mil at one point. Glaven
for
was 30,
yeah,
and then there was Ragefire sitting about 12.
for these boosts that are minimal. I mean,
I mean, the Steadfast have maybe a few has the attack stats over the Dragon boots, and it has like one or two extra strength.
yeah, I think it's 2 strength bonus, and it's whatever 40, 50 mil as you said. So it's really hard to tell what people are going to be willing to pay for something that's so. I guess you call it rare because how many people with 81 mining and 89 crafting are going to be there on day of release? I mean, a thousand.
Well, I can name one person. Well, no, I can name four people actually.
uh,
There's going to be you.
yes.
There's going to be both Rune Sharks, James and Simon, and then there's going to be Born for PVM. I know they're going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Only an idiot would think they wouldn't be.
Exactly. And for all those maxed, Nexers, PVMers, they're all
Com,
going to be.
com yeah, Comp and Max Capes are obviously going to be there because they do. Some of them are obviously PVM based only.
Yes. So, I mean, it's hard to say anything else because it's just there's not a whole lot known about them besides what we've already said. I mean, granted, their last sentence of it is, it will make a hefty profit. So it does seem like Jagex is going to be putting this mid price kind of high.
Yeah, I can. Like I said, I can easily see 5K a vial.
Oh yeah, in the beginning.
And the thing, and even worse than that, I can probably see people buying them. For the first set of them, no doubt, the first person that can get a hold of it, will probably put it on the GE for at least 1 mil per vial. And I can truthfully say that people will probably buy it for that at the very beginning,
It kind of makes me want to go and just mine one and make one and then run to the
or
GE and
teleport
sell
to
it.
the GE as
Yeah,
fast as possible.
sell it just to see if I can get the first one out there.
And see, along with that, we don't know, like we said established earlier, we don't know exactly where it's going to be located. It could be in the granite mine out in the desert,
Yeah, because it is called red sandstone. So,
and there is sandstone, and the sandstone and granite is all out there.
it's just we'll see on day of release, I guess. There's not a whole lot else we can go with.
Well, that'll be the second. That'll be definitely if we're not mistaken, it'll be the second update. So,
Yeah.
and I can see this coming along with the update. The carnival hats or
Oh
the
yeah.
yeah. It's basically like a celebration that is summer elsewhere in the world, since we're all bundled up here in the northern areas of the
Yes.
hemisphere, like the United States, Britain, Germany, all the way around in the Asian areas and such. And then down on the other half, it's not cold,
Definitely.
it's hot here. But definitely
Yeah.
definitely happy to see them actually put out something once that uh, is based on the other half of the world compared to this half where it's you know
Exactly.
actually colder.
Or, the Halloween stuff. Things that only make sense to small populations rather than the bigger
But
picture.
the good thing I can say is at least it's not a Jagex troll like they did when Diongo gave out the dragon kites.
Yes.
I gotta admit I did get one on the day of release, so I won't complain about that. That was an interesting thing, and Diongo still sells them. So
Django sells everything. He's just giving him another thing to do, I'm sure.
yeah, which reminds me of something we were talking about earlier. The
Hmm.
fact that Diongo has everybody's excess holiday stuff, and my comment was he has to have a place as big as the wilderness, or at least bigger than RuneScape, that has all that stuff just in a stockpile that he can just,
Definitely. Yeah,
and he has to put some sort of spell on it so he can just pull it up to that little screen when you see it,
definitely.
because that has to be bad.
Yep.
Ooh, another Dominion sword, sweet.
So, the now we go to the new Tsar update. That's gonna be that is going to be an adventure. I don't even know where to begin with it. The entire city's
Let's start with the beginning of it. They're going to give everything there a huge graphics overhaul. If you play on max graphics with Bloom on,
it's
you better wear some sunglasses.
it's gonna be
Just be general.
it's gonna be one of the best looking places in the game. Already from the screenshots, it looks incredible.
But on the on the behind the scenes page, there's a what is it? There's a one about the. It shows a Toxil from the fight caves, and
Yes.
clicking on it actually opens up the developer image of it, and it'll actually show you, like, give an explanation about why it shoots obsidian out its arms and such, and that was something we found out earlier on, and
Yes.
they had these graphics and all drafted back wasn't it in '09? Was it in 2011 when they
Yes.
had it drafted?
It's been a year basically.
So they're basically just working on drafting it and coding it and getting it all into the game. Sweet, I got another
Yes.
Dominion sword back
Yeah,
to back.
it's just gonna be incredible. The new monsters, it's just Jagex has been saying that they feel like the Tsar is a new race in the game and should be treated as such, and I agree with them.
Well, the
I
Tsar is a race that is mainly unique only to RuneScape. You'll see it in other games, but mainly just private servers, which you're
Yes,
not allowed. If you play by Jagex's rules, you're not allowed to be on. Only reason I know of it is because I've seen it before, but never
exactly.
actually played.
the yeah, the new fire cape. How about that? The
Oh, the one that yeah, that's the crazy part. You have to sacrifice a fire cape to go in. So be warned, if you die in the middle of this before you get to the new cape, you're screwed. You screwed yourself out of a fire cape. So
yes.
those with combat stats below 90, doesn't have Nex armor or Bandos, high end armor. I can see people going in Barrow's armor because it has higher defense than Bandos and such. I can see people with Piety, Curses, Turmoil, Storm. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody did it with Virtus and Storm Armadillo.
It's got to be. You're gonna have to have top of the line gear, and who knows what the. I mean, they're talking about fighting two Jads at once.
Well, I think they were giving that as an example, considering that you have that boss at the very, very end.
Exactly, and the monsters kind of stack in a pattern, two and then one, and
But all that aside, and all that aside, this new jet, the final boss, if you've seen the behind the scenes Jagex pre-release of it on their YouTube channel, you'll see that it's going to be coming out of lava. So it's going to be a crazy Joker. So be prepared for it.
yes.
I mean, it'll be crazy enough that I know I fought Jad. I've only got 2 fire capes to my name, and I know if I tried it, I'm SOL.
Yeah, I mean, as they say, you need all the overloads, curses, potion flasks, food, top end gear. They don't say anything about summoning familiars, so I mean, I would try to bring a yak. There's no joking around with this new boss. It's serious.
Well, I'm not. I'm like you said, they don't mention anything about summoning familiars. So you might have the option to take in a pack yak. You might have an option to take in a steel titan. I could see somebody taking taking a yak up to the new Jad basically,
Hmm.
and dismissing it for a steel titan, just tearing it.
Oh
But
yeah.
I can see the first just out of guessing, I can tell that the first people that are probably going to get this new cape will probably be one of the rune sharks, probably
Hmm.
Born for PVM might. Wook 16 and So Solid 2K and Matt Dragon X, I can definitely tell you for certain, if they aren't the first, one of them is not the first one, they are in the top 10 to get it first.
Exactly.
Not
And
to mention Bomb Block could do it, and not to and Silent Core can also do that. I know.
it's gonna bring out all the great PVMers in the game just to see who can defeat it first. And as they said, not only they're releasing it kind of uh, they call it an early bird release. I don't completely get it, but in the first two
Well,
weeks you'll get bonuses.
yeah, and that actually coincides with the new quest that'll be going with the update. That update, because all that's going to come together in one update.
Yes.
For those who don't believe it, it is actually all going to be that one update. Because let's see, the Czar's getting a graphical rework. There's a new quest that'll come out,
Yes.
and those who are big on questing, have the quest capes and comp capes and all that, they're already going to have the stats for it.
Hmm.
I'm a quest caper, so I already have the stats for it because of the requirements for my quest cape anyway required higher than that to begin with. But with that, you're going to get a chunk of XP, and as it said, the early bird release that you get
An
to
extra
wave
set.
30 of the new caves, you'll get isn't it double the quest reward XP
I believe so. Yes.
and an extra 70k XP. It'll probably be like an XP lamp. Um, Tell you the first thing I'll put it to is probably Slayer. No, not Slayer. It's rune crafting. Yeah, rune
Definitely.
crafting.
I can see a lot of people using that for rune crafting, and it should just be really interesting to see what the new boss is, because Jad has kind of, I mean, it seems like Jad's become more of a joke boss rather than a
Well,
serious
well,
threat in the
in
game
the case
anymore.
of the jug boss thing, I've actually if you saw Rune Shark's video about Matt Dragon X actually doing the thing on the with And you saw that he had a picture of Jad up in paint, and trollface.j and a troll face on the Jad. And I admit that was definitely funny.
That's fantastic.
And he was only doing it by sound, so yeah.
What can
Now
you
that's
say?
definitely something, and truthfully, that's definitely something I can never do in my lifetime.
Oh no.
I could probably never. I've killed Jad before. I've killed him with sounds on. Uh, More recently, I've actually killed him with just using polypore and just watching by effects because I actually had a decent connection at the time with the graphics card that can support wider screen.
Mhm.
Um, but those with max graphics, I I say unless you have a heck of a graphics card, tone it down just a little bit before you go in. At least turn bloom off
Yeah,
because you don't
'cause
want your eyes to start hurting just from seeing that.
and you don't want to have to deal with the lag with the new boss.
Yeah, the amount of people that'll be there is going to be outrageous. You're going to see a ton of people attempting the fight caves and seeing how the fight pits graphical rework and all will become. But everything there is going to get a new coat of paint basically, and the only thing that's staying the same in look wise, unless they update it later on, is the fire cape. So
Yes.
those with a fire cape don't expect it to change anytime soon. So
I'm guessing the fire cape's gonna
and,
match the new look better than it did the old.
yeah, they might do it. They might do a couple of color changes, but I can definitely. But it already is pretty good.
Yes, I agree.
But and I could bet any amount of money that there's going to be some people that run with the RuneScape wiki, not the Jagex official one, but the actual RuneScape wiki site that'll be standing there. Somebody in every world standing at the cave entrance for the new Jad, waiting to see who comes out with the new cape. I can bet any amount of money on that
Yep.
because well, there's already going to be an image of it when Jagex release the update because they've got to have an image for the wiki page anyway, for their wiki anyway. So you're sort of not going to be missing much.
Yes. One
But
one
go ahead.
one other thing, the quest, we forgot to mention it. It's gonna be a new master quest to do with the Tsar to match the
Yeah,
only one other quest that they have that has to do with them.
yeah. Because the last quest that came out for the Tsar was the Toxket Deal quest, and if you look now, it's in that dang monster's in the Dominion Tower,
Yeah.
so you can all understand that it will be a huge change. But
Yes.
now that we've covered this month, I guess the disclaimer that Jagex always posts is that it's behind the scenes. It's anticipated, but not entirely 100% sure.
Yes.
That contradicts that which is said on top of the page, which they said they will be doing it. They promise it. So if it doesn't come out, I won't complain about it because last minute things that have to change,
Hmm.
last minute code errors and
Which
such.
is
Which I would like it more often if they actually with stuff like that they actually let certain players, like some well renowned players, I could see them letting Rune Sharks do that to and I'll have access to a special server, on there. It doesn't matter if it's a Jagex only account that they let them use or their own personal player account, as long as where they provide at least a temp set of Nex armors and such or
yes.
high end armors, and I could see that
And
and actually let them test it on a player scale because
yes.
players spot stuff after Jagex does, and then it takes a week for them to patch it, or they take a week to patch it, or if it's really severe, like the dual arena glitches and such, they patch it within hours. So yeah,
Hmm.
this will definitely be interesting to see what glitches come out with it. Like, and I think you mentioned this earlier about potion flasks. Though you could see people actually, you know, potion flasks with overloads and super prayers and all that in the wilderness, PKing just tearing through people because of it.
Yes. It's gonna be a whole new game with those potion flasks. It's gonna be a whole new
Well, that's
method of.
definitely one thing to see. Make sure Jagex can doesn't forget is to actually make them not, overloads in potion flasks, which I don't think they'd actually be able to allow overloads into potion flasks because I think because think of a Ceradon Brew 6 or Ceradon Brew 5. Think of those on the GD. Those will be
Oh
well,
my
what are they now?
gosh.
12k for a 4 dose, so it'd be like 13, 14, maybe even 15k.
It'd be expensive. I think it would, and it'd also be interesting to see the new decanting profits because I'm sure with the new, it would just make things so. It
Hold
would
on a
make
second.
vial. So yeah, just to quickly wrap things up here. I'm definitely looking forward to the updates that are coming this month. One quick thing that February 28th is on a Tuesday, and they do update things on Tuesdays.
Well, and to add a side note to even that, March 1st will be on a Thursday.
Uh, oh,
So
very true.
you just got it. You just got it. So
It's a leap year. Who knew?
I actually figured out on a guess. So definitely everybody anticipate these and be happy when y'all see them. And we'll see y'all next time with the behind the scenes March. So
Yes.
thank you, Patrick, for actually podcasting with me this month. And I'll see
No
you
problem, John.
I'll see you next month. And we'll try to get somebody else. Maybe get a famous
Yeah, we'll see.
RuneScaper
We'll
out.
see.
So I'll see you later.
Yep. Have a good day.
All right. See ya.
Bye.